Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
Yes! I feel like I've been waiting for this my entire life.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Jolly good fun. Jolly good.
Locking down the middle of the day.
America's favorite daytime fun show.
Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Welcome in. Hunt Palmer coming to you from the Raising Cane studio downtown in the capital city on this Tuesday. It means we're brought to you by Immense Networks, Cloud IT Management. Hope your work week's off to a good start. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Got Jordan Kitchens and Braxton Rizzuto back there on the ones and twos. Fired up, you're hanging out. We got plenty to do. Glen West in 30 minutes. Sharief, Ishaq in 90. We'll talk Tigers with Glen West. Baseball transfer portal, basketball, eligibility concerns, maybe a little football as well with Glen. And then, of course, Saints with Sharief coming up at 2:30. I've got plenty of other things I'd like to hit on as well. Athletic directors around the country saying they're not playing Texas Tech in any sports. Does that matter? We'll discuss it briefly at the end of the hour. And ESPN came up with college football's future power rankings through 2027. I've got where LSU stands, which should be pretty quick to cover. And then where every team on their conference schedule stands, which I think is a little bit interesting to see how that conference schedule could shake out. So we'll do that at the top of hour number 2 at 2 o'clock. So plenty to do. Hang in there with us. Let's start with our opening drive.
Welcome to the big league.
It's time for Hunt's Opening Drive. Presented by Fabry Chevrolet GMC in St. Francisville.
The baseball transfer portal is where we're going to start, and it's interesting to watch this unfold. This time last year, we were knee-deep in LSU, Arkansas for the opener of the College World Series on Saturday night. I was 2 days from catching a flight to Omaha, and the vibes were very, very different around here, and we weren't really paying attention to the transfer portal. And keep in mind, I wrote this on LouisianaSports.net earlier today. Zach York and Trent Caraway were both sizable pickups for LSU in the transfer portal. Despite what they did this year, it was a big deal when LSU got them. Do you know what day that happened? I went back and looked it up. Those two committed to LSU on the same day, July 15th. So we're sitting here on June 9th. So anybody that's pushing any panic buttons, I would avoid that for the time being. Anybody who's just desperately seeking news, I understand it. But you understand how this plays out. There is a time frame here, and there are going to be the guys that jump in, have an idea what they want to do, knock out a couple of quick visits, and boom, commit. We'll talk about a couple of those coming up here shortly. But there are also guys that are going to take their time. Like Trent Caraway was in Omaha last year. He was at Oregon State. They were in the College World Series. He jumped in the portal. So that type of thing happens. Like Mikey Ryan played for LSU's team last year and jumped in the transfer portal. So we're still not even to saturation with the transfer portal where everybody's in. It's just a slower process for us this time around at LSU because LSU's season was over 3 weeks ago. So I have some thoughts on the way things are going and some significant question marks that LSU's going to have to address and some names along those lines. But let's talk about a couple of commitments that have happened here in the last 24 hours. One, Brody Trosclair has committed to Tennessee. Brody Trosclair is from the home of Thibodeau area. He was at Northwestern State last year. He was the Southland Conference Freshman of the Year. He had the surgery on his elbow that did not replace the UCL. It repaired it. It's called the brace surgery. And his season was cut short in April. He feels like he's going to be able to pitch next year. He took a visit to LSU. He took a visit to Fayetteville. He took a visit to Knoxville. He's committed to Tennessee, despite the fact that Tennessee doesn't have a pitching coach. But Brody Trosclair has decided to commit to Tennessee. He is off the market and a guy that certainly had a lot of LSU ties. One, he's from Louisiana. Two, he played college baseball in Louisiana. Three, he visited LSU. So that's obviously a guy we were going to talk about and a guy that is going to go to Tennessee. So he's off the board. Jake Souders is also off the board. That is the right-handed hitting outfielder from Samford. He is going to go to Mississippi State. He announced his commitment earlier today. Those two guys, while Trosclair was much more closely connected to LSU, Souders, I don't believe, was, they both address needs that LSU has, and certainly they're not coming to LSU. LSU needs left-handed pitching in a bad way because right now your starting pitching options as it stands today are William Schmidt, right-handed, Kason Evans, right-handed, Cooper Moore, right-handed, Marcos Paz, right-handed, Reagan Ricken, right-handed, and Landon Hood from Gonzaga, right-handed. So everybody you've got with a significant chance to be in your starting rotation today is right-handed. That doesn't count the signing class. That doesn't count Danny Lockenmeyer or Santiago Garcia or Ethan Plog or guys that figure to be on the team next year but are left-handed but not necessarily a starting rotation caliber guys. So you're looking for left-handed pitching. We'll address that in a second. You also need outfielders. Right now, William Patrick is the only outfielder you got. Derek Curiel was mocked 10th in a thing I saw today. Not coming back. Despite what he sat at this desk and said to Matt that it sucks and he'd love to be back and chase a championship with the Tigers and all that kind of stuff. He's a top 15 draft pick. He's not going to be back. And Jake Brown took a curtain call at senior day. I'm going to take that as a sign that Jake Brown's not coming back either. He's also a likely first-round pick. So you don't have any outfielders. And Souders is an outfielder. What you also need, like left-handed pitching, is left-handed hitting. Jay Johnson has said this on many occasions. He learned from Augie Garrido, the famous Texas coach, that you build your roster around left-handed pitching and left-handed hitting. Well, you don't have a lot of left-handed pitching right now. And as I look at this lineup that's coming back, Omar Cerna, right-handed. Cade Arambidi, right-handed. William Patrick, right-handed. Yeah, Jack Ruckert hits left-handed, and of course, Mason Braun hits left-handed. But you're pretty right-handed, and you went and got Dawson Park, and he hits right-handed on the infield. John Pearson hits right-handed. So you don't have a lot of left-handed presence in your lineup besides Jack Ruckert and Mason Braun. You need some left-handed bat speed. And the thought was, man, look at this guy in the portal. This is one of the top guys. Can you get him? And that's Bino Waters from Notre Dame. It is my understanding, and nothing's been signed, nothing is finalized, and y'all know how recruiting goes, right? If you go to the football side of things, you had a football commitment last weekend who tweeted out "Go Tigers" and then 4 hours later it flipped to Miami. So I understand that things can change, but my understanding right now, and it's what we're hearing at LouisianaSports.net, is that Bino Waters is very, very, very likely to be a Texas Longhorn. So you're probably not getting him. He is the best left-handed hitting outfielder on the market. He would cross two boxes for you, left-handed hitter and outfielder. You're trying to cross both of those off. So you're not getting Trosclair, you're not getting Souders, and you're probably not getting Bino Waters. The good news here, and I mean this not as a sunshine bumper, like in reality, the portal is very deep this year. There is some real high-end talent in the transfer portal. I'm not suggesting it's Paul Skeens and Tommy White, but I am suggesting there are some real difference makers in the transfer portal that LSU has an opportunity to get. I look first and foremost at pitching because I think LSU's got to overhaul its pitching. And I'm telling you that I think they need left-handed pitching. I like William Schmidt. I like Kason Evans. I like Marcos Paz. I like Reagan Ricken. I think Landon Hood's got a chance to be a stud. I'd like somebody to throw with their left hand. And the best left-handed hitter, a pitcher that I can see in the transfer portal right now is Caden Succi from UConn. He's just finished his sophomore year, had an awesome season, was the Big East pitcher of the year for UConn. I understand that's a lower level of competition. But this year, he pitched 82 and a third innings, struck out 94, and walked 23. That is a strike thrower. That's a bat misser. That's the profile of a guy that I'd like to see LSU go out and land. He does not throw 97 miles an hour. He throws 92 miles an hour. But that's firm enough. If LSU can add a mile an hour or two to that and get to 93, 94 from the left side, a guy that walked 23 last year, that sounds very, very good to me. I like the sound of that a lot. So Caden Succi is not a guy I confirm that's been visiting. I cannot confirm he's interested in LSU. I'm just scouring the transfer portal and telling you what I see in the transfer portal. I also did a little bit of digging today on the internet, just kind of looking around at guys in the portal to see if there was anything that jumped out at me. And I do like the profile of a recent portal entrant from Michigan. He's a left-handed pitcher. He's got swing and miss stuff, had a really good year as a freshman in Ann Arbor, and I think could potentially make some sense for LSU if he is at all interested in being at LSU. And again, I can't confirm that at this point. But you're talking about a solid left-handed arm from Michigan that I tend to think would be a good fit in Baton Rouge if LSU can lure him in. And I'm not trying to plant names here and there, because I know guys are on campus. I will tell you this in my digging around, LSU is playing the portal close to the vest this year. They are not interested in a lot of people tweeting out who's visiting from LSU, who's close to committing. If you'll notice, you're not seeing a lot of guys that are tweeting out pictures of their official visit to LSU. If y'all notice that, are you on Twitter? You don't see that? So I think that Shane Brenham, a left-hander from Michigan, is a guy that I really like. I think that he's got a chance to be a difference maker at the SEC level if he decides to make that move. But LSU's playing things close to the vest, and that's why you're not getting a lot of reporting on this. I feel like in years gone by, we have had a little bit of better of idea who's on campus and who's not. Right now, they're playing it close to the vest. But I think that Suchi and Brenham are two left-handers that LSU would really like. They would be really good fits. The last guy I want to talk about, and it's a name we mentioned last week, but I want to revisit it because I haven't heard anything concrete on him, which leads me to believe his decision-making process is still open, and that's Jason Walks from Tulane, who is an outfielder and a left-handed bat. And he had a great 2 years at Tulane. He hit a home run off Grant Fontenot at the box. He had 3 hits in that game. He is a really, really good player. Now, he's from South Florida. He's going to visit Miami. He's going to visit Florida State. He's going to visit Florida, and apparently LSU's on the list as well. He knows South Louisiana well after 2 years at Tulane. So that would check another box. The point being, yeah, it stinks that you're not getting Cross Clare, who we'll see how healthy he is next year, but that's a guy you would have liked to add. Yeah, it stinks that you're not getting some of these guys like Bino Waters, who looks like a heck of a player. But there are still really good options in the transfer portal, and there will be more to come. So Jackson Hotchkiss is a right-handed hitting outfielder from Washington, who I think is a heck of a bat they could add. There are still a lot of opportunities out there for LSU to add, but it's moving slowly, as you might expect, and I thought there would be a commitment or two over the weekend. There was not. There were certainly visitors over the weekend. We can confirm that. We're just not able to scrape up a lot of names because LSU wants to keep things close to the vest, and you can understand that. In this era of social media, a lot of guys want to be quick to fire off videos and this and that, and we've seen Instagram stories and Twitter pictures of guys walking onto the box field for the first time and like, could this be home? Or like, none of that's happening. LSU, I think, is by design keeping a lot of things close to the vest, and we'll see as things continue to leak out. But there's still options. LSU just hasn't landed one since last week. 2 really good ones in Dawson Park and Landon Hood, but nothing further to add to that at this point right now. So that's a look at the transfer portal. I've got a write-up up at louisianasports.net if you want to go check that out for free. You can do that. I'll continue to stay on top of that as much as I possibly can as we move forward here with the transfer portal cycle. Omaha is upon us here in 3 days as we'll get started from Charles Schwab Field on Friday at 1 o'clock with a 5-team field of SEC teams out of the 8 teams there in the College World Series. All right, let's step aside. We will come back. We will dive into the New Orleans Saints here. It is a Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Love to remind you about our friends over at Auctioner. They did a great job all May long of reminding y'all about Stroke Awareness Month. And in June, they're just trying to remind you that whether you're an athlete or trying to stay active, Oxford Andrews Orthopedic Sports Medicine Institute can help get you moving and keep you moving. You've got to have access to the highest levels of specialized care, nationally renowned expertise, the latest in equipment, modern facilities, including a convenient walk-in orthopedic clinic right there at the Elite Training Complex on Burbank. If you've driven by it on Burbank and you see the big football field with the goalposts out there, like, that is it. It's a walk-in orthopedic clinic, and if you need care fast, you can stop right in. From the field to recovery, Oxford Andrews Institute is there to help you move your healing forward, get you back to what you love doing. It may be playing with the grandkids. It may be back on the ancient athletes field. It may be back on the high school field. It may be just back to the gym. Just check them out at oxner.org/brortho. That's our friends over at Oxner.
Box combo for George. I see you, Luis. Food's on the way.
Please don't. Hey, you know you can use your hands, right?
Got those box combos for you. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer, we know you deserve value when you purchase equipment. Right now, take advantage of the powerful 3025E tractor for just $297 a month, with 0% financing for 72 months. Tractor packages with a trailer also available. Whether you're tackling land, property, or projects, get your job done. Don't wait. This offer ends June 30th, 2026. Some restrictions apply. Visit sunequip.com or stop by a Sunshine location today.
Eagle 98.1, the rock station. Home of the Woody Show in the morning. Scotty Mack with Rock at Work. Michelle Southern with Southern Rock. Home of LSU sports since 1998. And rock for Baton Rouge since 1985. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. To join our VIP fan club, text ROCK to 225-499-9898. Eagle 98.1, the rock station.
The experts at Hood Dental Care want you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays. A $376 value. With over 3,000 five-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care. Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And we always have other great giveaways for new patients. Check out hooddentalcare.com and schedule your appointment today.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. At Locke Meredith Sean Fagan and Associates, we know each case and client are unique, and that no two cases are the same. But one thing remains constant, and that is our passion to help our clients. After an accident, we know your life has changed, which is why we passionately fight to make you and your family whole. Remember, whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. We're here to serve you.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Our Tuesday shows every week brought to you by Immense Networks Cloud IT Management. Have you had your system go down? If you're out of business and the entire thing crashes, that can be really costly. It can be costly, one, to repair it. It can be costly, two, in the time that you lose when you're down, when you're offline, when you're unable to work. If that's happened to you, check in with Immense. What Immense does is they monitor your IT situation 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They're doing things proactively to make sure that doesn't happen. If you're reactive from an IT perspective, you're always behind the game. Y'all know the businesses that you've been a part of where you've always got an issue and the IT department stretched thin and they're always jumping from one computer to the next trying to fix this person's and that person's, and this person can't work and they're frustrated because you're trying to get to that's an inefficient way to do things, right? Let Immense Networks Cloud IT Management come in and proactively work with you to make sure your information technology is up to standard so that you're running smoothly at all times. That's what they're willing to do for you. If you've got an IT department that's either stretched thin or you've got a third party that you're not thrilled with, reach out to Immense. They've been in the market for 20 years here in the Baton Rouge area. They're small enough to give you that personal touch, but they're big enough for big business. So reach out to them at immense.net and just see if they're a fit for you. If you're between 50 and 100 employees, that's kind of their sweet spot. They'd love to help you with your IT. It's Immense Networks Cloud IT Management, online at immense.net, immense.net. This segment we're going to do here, I want you to take it with the appropriate June grain of salt. This is not meant to be hard-hitting. It's obviously not going to be exactly accurate. It's a take it for what it's worth type segment here from ESPN.com, okay? It is their best effort, and I find it fascinating. I don't find it a religion, but I think it's fascinating to look at objective numbers that ESPN puts on football. And they've done that with the NFL. And I want to go through a few things. We'll start with the FPI. It runs off a zero baseline. So the Rams are the top of the NFL at plus 5.6. And the Dolphins are at the bottom of the NFL with a minus 5.8. So from the best team in the NFL to the worst team in the NFL is 5.6 on the positive to negative 5.8. You understand that's where the scale is. The Saints are at a minus 2.7. There are only 7 teams worse on the FPI than New Orleans entering this season. Now, they break it down into offense and defense as well. The Saints' defense is about league average. It's a minus 0.4, so about right at league average. And the Saints' defense late last season played well. Now, you look at that defense with potentially not having Cam Jordan, who had 10 sacks on that defense. You take away Demario Davis, who had a Pro Bowl caliber season last year, obviously. You add Caden Ellis, and then you shuffle some things on the outside at cornerback, and you understand that safety is going to look a little bit different because you had an injury right out of the chute. Sanker is going to come down and play slot corner, we think. But there's a lot of the same DNA of that defense. Brzee, Chase Young, Granderson. You got at linebacker Stutzman filling in, but you still have Pete Werner there. Kool-Aid was there most of the season. You still got Quincy Riley, and you still got Reed at safety. Like, there's a lot of the same DNA that was there. And you've gone and made some additions at edge that you hope are high ceiling that you can bring in there. And there are some changes, but let's call it 80% of that defense is similar to what it was. You hope that your younger guys grow up. You've moved on from a couple of guys who were older. Okay, league average defense, I think, is a fair thing to say. If they overperform a little bit, maybe you bump up a notch or two. The offense is interesting because they've got the offense for the Saints at a minus 2.3. And I can actually sort the league by that category. And you can look that only the Cardinals, Titans, Dolphins, Jets, Raiders, and Browns rate worse offensively than the Saints. And I think that's interesting because we know the Saints' offense was not good last year. They were awful for about 9 weeks when Rattler was in there. And when Shuck took over, they were bad at wide receiver, banged up at running back, and bad at offensive line. So you understand that it's not a stretch to suggest the Saints will outperform last year with a quarterback in his second year and a full season, with right now a healthier group up front, with a brand new cast of characters on the outside when you consider 3 draft picks, a guy you traded for in Polk last year that was unavailable, Olave healthy, and Vele for potentially a full season and not a month. It's a completely different wide receiving core. So there's significant upside on the Saints offense to outperform that number. So you could theoretically significantly outperform your FPI number, which is close to the bottom of the NFL. But less important than that, because we know what the roster says, I also wanted to look at the objective data that they've got on maybe the most important thing on this entire sheet on the website that I'm looking at, and it's strength of schedule. The Saints' strength of schedule is 30th. 30th. There's 2 easier. They say the Bengals have an easier schedule, and they say the Lions have an easier schedule. Both of those teams way underperformed last year. But you see the path to this thing going in the right direction. It's the offense outperforming that minus 2.3, the defense being about league average, and the schedule manifesting the way ESPN thinks it is, and then all of a sudden, you've got something cooking. Now, the other objective data that they put together, not sure how they came up with this, but we'll just work off of it. It's June, as I mentioned. It's all with a grain of salt. None of this is sworn testimony. It's the way the numbers work out in ESPN's machine. But they have playoff odds, your odds to make the playoff. And I went through the NFC Souths. Top of the league, I don't think it's going to surprise anybody. It's Tampa. Tampa is at a 47.3% chance to make the postseason. Not win the division, make the postseason. Second in the division, behind Tampa, at 33.7% to make the playoffs, is Atlanta. They've got the Falcons there. We don't even know for sure who the Falcons' quarterback is, but they're at 33.7%. So you got Tampa at 47. That's about a coin flip. You've got Atlanta at 33.7. That is almost right on the number. Well, it is right on the number, basically, if you round up on the decimals, to a third of the time they'd make the playoffs. And then you got the Saints at 23.8. We'll round up to 24. That's a quarter, right? 1 in 4 shot to make the playoffs. And then you've got Carolina at the bottom with 19.8. One, Carolina is sitting there with the first place schedule, which they rate as the 13th most difficult schedule. So that's well in front of where New Orleans is. And I don't think anybody's buying what Carolina did last year. So just looking at ESPN's objective data, you look at the Saints and they say, okay, your defense is fine. Your offense stunk last year. You got a bunch of really unproven pieces. Ishaq is unproven. Olave's proven, but everything behind him is not. Vele, not really. Certainly Jordan Tyson's not. Certainly Jalen Polk's not. Certainly, you're looking at Lance. He's not. You got an offensive line that was not very good last year because McCoy's been hurt for 2 years straight, and you've got tackles who are trying to grow up and a bad right guard. So you were bad on offense last year, and we'll reflect that in the rankings. But if the Saints can overperform on offense, which we all think they are, I don't think there's anybody in South Louisiana that doesn't think the Saints are going to be better on offense this year than they were last year. If they are not, something has gone horribly wrong, namely probably an injury to the quarterback. But if they are reasonably healthy, they will not be fully healthy. If they're reasonably healthy, they will outperform last year. And if the defense is about the same, and you tell me the schedule is the third easiest in the league, and you tell me that nobody in the division is a 50% shot to make the playoffs, keep in mind, there are plenty of teams that are better than 50-50 shot to make the playoffs, according to this ESPN poll. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 teams, half the league is better than a 50% chance to make the playoffs, and nobody in the NFC South is. 15 teams are better than 50% shot, and nobody in the South. So if you tell me league average defense, an offense that needs to perform better, okay, I got that. It's third easiest schedule, in a division where nobody's in the top 15 teams in the league in terms of playoff odds, okay, I'll take my chances. I will take my chances. That's what I draw from this. Again, it's ESPN analytics. It's not meant to be gospel, and I'm not here to suggest that they've got all the answers. They get things wrong, I'm confident, every single year. The Patriots would have been nowhere near the top of anybody's list at this time last year. We get it. Same thing with Washington last year. We talked about it yesterday with Shefty's projection. But the roadmap for the Saints is pretty clear. And the roadmap for the Saints is not all that far-fetched. I kind of like where they sit right now. And if this is a grow-up year with an easy schedule, so be it. You're counting on this being an era. An era with Kellen Moore. An era with Tyler Ishaq. An era with Olave and Jordan Tyson and Banks and Fuaga and Sanker and Riley and the guys you've built around up front on the defensive side. So I'm okay with where they sit right now, and I think the Saints are in a pretty good position relative to where they were this time 1 year ago. 12 months ago, it was ugly. Right now, it's not. It's reasonable. And I kind of like what this data suggests. Jordan?
I think the Saints are in a particular position because at the end of the day, if they can just get Ishaq out, he doesn't have to be too great, but if he can just show marginal improvement, and not saying a lot, just marginal improvement, and you can have what the defense showed you the last 5 games of last year. I know they didn't really play nobody. It wasn't the world beaters like the Titans and I think the Dolphins. We lost the Dolphins game, but like the Giants. You didn't really play much down the stretch. But if Ishaq can just a marginal improvement, and you get that defensive effort a year or two in that Staley, I guess, system, sky's the limit. I just don't understand all the hype around the Bucks. I get it. They're the best team that we have to offer in NFC South on paper.
Hype is relative. It's 47%. I told you there's 15 teams with a better chance to make the playoffs.
But every time we see it, they're always like...
They are always in the top.
They're always in the lead.
And in the same vein, no one believes in Carolina. Everyone thinks that was smoke and mirrors.
I mean, come on, man. Bryce Young, nobody's going to think he's going to take that leap.
They were running for 250 a game for like a month, and they went into Green Bay and won. It was weird. It was a weird deal.
What was the running back name? Rico Dowell.
Yeah.
That was a running back name.
Yeah, he
Rico
was running
Dowell.
for 180 a pop.
He had like a 200-yard game in there, I think. So, yeah, I'm not the biggest believer in the Bucks. I think they're going to come back down to earth. I don't think Baker Mayfield's going to be able to recreate the little special magic he had like the first 5 weeks of the season. Again, I guess it's more of a homer take that I'm more highly on the Saints, obviously, but I just don't see the hype in all these other teams in the NFC South, especially the Bucks. I don't get it.
We'll see. Glen West, Talking Tigers next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is the website. David Duvall and his team, 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. Sometimes a remodel's not just for looks, it's for functionality as well. Because safety can be a big, big issue in the bathroom, especially as folks age. So if there's someone in your life who is aging and you feel like could be in a hazardous situation at home, do what you can to mitigate against that risk. David Duvall and his team can help you put in non-slip floors. They can do guardrails in slippery areas. They can do walk-in tubs that are more comfortable and safer. They can do showers with benches in them. All these things can be quick and can be incredibly beneficial to mitigate risk in the bathroom. Maybe you haven't thought about that. Maybe it's something you should think about for a loved one in your life. Give David a call or check him out online at OneBathAndClosets.com. They'll do it right the first time and leave the competition behind. I can promise you that. You want financing? They've got it 0% up to 18 months, same as cash. David Duvall and One Bath and Closets. They're online at OneBathAndClosets.com.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. No, the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
I've been in banking for over 35 years. I usually start about 7:30 in the morning, and I usually leave somewhere around 5, or if customers need me to meet them at their house or their business places, I don't mind going after hours. I have done churches, subdivisions, retail centers, hospitals, and nursing homes. And that's why we chose to live in this community, because of the values First American Bank has, that I can serve my community and my customers.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. ESPN has got some power rankings out for college football entering the 2026 season. We'll get to those in 25 minutes at the top of hour number 2. Sharief, Ishaq here in an hour at 2:30. Glen West from On 3 is the Bengal Tiger, good enough to join us on Tuesday. Joins us now on the Jim's Firearms Hotline. Glenn, how are you?
I'm doing great, Hunt. How about yourself?
Doing all right. You noticing it's a little quiet over there at Alec Box Stadium? Not a lot of information leaking out. We used to see guys on visits sending out social media posts and showing their picture-taking ceremonies and whatnot, and we're getting very little at this point from over there at LSU. It seems like it's by design.
Yeah, I would imagine so. It's pretty cutthroat, I think, between a lot of the teams that LSU is competing for some of these players for, and so they've got a couple. They've got Landon Hood, the right-handed pitcher. They've got Dawson Park, the shortstop or a middle infielder. But yeah, no, I think we're all just kind of waiting for that next kind of round of commitments to come, and I would expect left-handed pitching, outfield, and probably a third baseman or another infielder to be in that mix.
What do you think of the first two additions? Start with offense with Dawson Park.
Yeah, I think a really solid pickup. Somebody that hit for average last year at Texas State, but also is a pretty solid defender, and somebody that I think is going to be able to slide into shortstop if Stephen Milam goes. And if by the off chance Stephen Milam is back, LSU will be ecstatic for that. But also I think they'll have a second baseman in Dawson Park as well. So he's somebody that can fill a couple different roles for LSU, but really like his glove. I think he hit 13 home runs and 50 RBIs, so we'll see kind of how the power and all that stuff translates to the SEC. But a really solid overall player to go out there and get at least one of the infield spots taken care of.
How do you feel about Jack Ruckert and John Pearson entering 2027?
I feel good, probably a little bit better about Ruckert, just in terms of just what we saw the last month of the season. I thought was pretty encouraging for him, especially defensively. And he was somebody that, Jay mentioned to us multiple times, like, him and William Patrick are the two guys that got a lot of the playing time from the freshman group down the stretch. And he kind of said that in the right offense, in the right team, those guys can help LSU win games next year. And so, I think, Ruckert, whether or not he wins that position, I think is still going to be up for some debate depending on who LSU brings in here over the next couple months. But I feel pretty good about him being a contributor. Pearson at third base, I think is going to be in a competition there. He's a pretty powerful bat at times, but the defense is going to be something he's going to have to really work on this offseason to really secure that spot. So I think, if LSU is able to hang on to both of them, I think that's great. But I think both of those guys are going to be competing for those two spots going forward.
And then Landon Hood, the right-handed pitcher from Gonzaga, the other ad that we were talking about there at the top.
Yeah, no, Hood's a really solid pitcher, really has a lot of potential. I think his fastball is up to 96. He's got good movement with his off-speed pitches. I think he throws 3 or 4 pitches as well. And so, he was a guy that was kind of a longer relief pitcher, I think, for the most part for Gonzaga. He started some, but, throws a lot of strikes. I think he struck out 78, only walked about 20. And so, somebody that has a couple of years of eligibility too before he's draft eligible. And so, somebody that even if he doesn't earn a starting job this year or this coming year, will certainly be in that mix, I think, in his third season or his second season with the program, his third season overall. But really solid pickup there. And I think he's going to fill a really meaningful role for LSU next season.
So you mentioned left-handed hitting. You mentioned outfield play and infield play. Is there a name you got your eye on or time frame you're looking at? Maybe somebody that makes some sense for LSU?
Yeah, I think we're still in that kind of discovery phase. I think there was an outfielder that went in. I can't remember his last name. It's Sawyer something.
Solitera.
Solitera, yes. I know he played at Kent State and he played LSU this last year. I think that's one. Jay, has kind of a history here recently of bringing in players that LSU has played against in that previous season because they've already done some of the scouting homework on them. And so, if that's a name that they reach out to, I think that would make a lot of sense for maybe one of the outfield spots. I think that they probably need some left-handed pitching, but we just learned that Brody Trosclair is off to Tennessee, so that's a big name that you can cross off the list there. So where do they pivot or where do they turn to next, I think is going to be very interesting there. But you got to add a couple outfielders at least, and you got to get, I think, at least one or two left-handed arms, and then I think kind of maybe reassess where you're at. But I think that those things hopefully should come to fruition here in the weeks to come, if not days.
Glen West is our guest, senior writer over at the Bengal Tiger, part of the On3 team, which he joined on June 1st, joins us on Tuesdays here to talk some Tigers. We talked a lot about the Brendan Sorsby issue over at Texas Tech, and basically anybody can get eligible for anything if they just go see a judge. How do you think that impacts LSU basketball?
Yeah, look, I think I haven't really differed much in my opinion on the international guys. I think a lot of those players that LSU plans to bring aboard are, just going to take some time, but don't have many, legal or rules that they're going to have to kind of jump around. I think they're pretty cut and dry. RJ Lewis is, of course, the one, though, that I think you have to really monitor and keep your eye on here because, look, I mean, it looks like LSU is going to do what it can to try to get Lewis eligible, and part of that will probably mean filing a waiver, and the NCAA probably denying him that waiver, and that next step would probably be for LSU to file that injunction. And if they find the right judge, if they find the right guy in the right mood, they make the right case, then, I think anything can happen. I mean, this decision with Sorsby yesterday, I think, kind of evaluated a lot of the things in my mind on just kind of what rules can and can't be broken. And, look, right now there's no rule. If Brendan Sorsby can be eligible to play for Texas Tech, there is no rule that the NCAA has that can't be broken if you find the right judge and you find the right injunction and the right case. So I think LSU is going to have a shot here. I don't know that it's a 50-50 shot or a 70-30 that he doesn't get eligible, but I think the decision yesterday makes it a little bit more of a easier pill to swallow if you're LSU going to bed tonight.
Let me ask you this, Glenn, because you, for your career, have dealt with a lot of message boards. You deal with a lot of LSU fans on a daily basis. It may be an unanswerable question, but I'm just curious your thoughts. How do you think LSU fans will feel if LSU goes to court over Yam Madar and or RJ Lewis wins, and those guys are on the team, and everybody's hooting and hollering from the outside that this is not how you should put a basketball game? Like, do you think that's going to matter when they get on the floor in the middle of January at Mississippi State, or do you think that it'll put a kind of a stain on the season?
I mean, I don't think it'll put any kind of stain on the season from the LSU fans' perspective. I think they just want to go out and see a really fun, competitive team, and having Yam Madar and RJ Lewis as a part of that team is the best version of that team. And so, look, I think if LSU goes out there and let's say they lose the waiver on Madar, they lose the waiver on Lewis, then I think you'll have a very upset fan base that will point to guys like Brendan Sorsby who are eligible for doing much worse things. And so, I think it'll be interesting to watch that whole process play out. But like I said, I think for a lot of the international guys, and including Madar, I do think that they have a pretty solid case for Madar. It's just going to be with Lewis here. That's a pretty cut and dry rule, and we just saw it with Sorsby that one was broken. We'll see if this pretty cut and dry rule about not being able to play college basketball again after you sign an NBA contract is good too.
We shall see. You can catch him at the Bengal Tiger, part of the On3 team, all off season long. Glenn is with us on Tuesdays. Thanks, man.
All right, thanks, Hunt.
He is Glen West with the Bengal Tiger. Let me remind you about Fabry Chevrolet GMC online at FabryChevrolet.com. That's FabryChevrolet.com. The entire inventory is online. So whether you're looking for a new vehicle, they've got them. If you're looking for a pre-owned vehicle, they've got those as well. They're all there online. So you can kind of start your buying process right there at FabryChevrolet.com. But highly suggest you go see them on Highway 61 in St. Francisville. They got 2026 Chevy Silverados, 0% APR financing now until the end of the month for 36 months. That's 0%. You're not going to beat that for a new Chevy Silverado. 2026 GMC Sierra, 1500. Those are at 2.9 financing for 72 months. That is 5 years. And if you're looking for something like a Chevy Trailblazer, maybe a Chevy Trax, You can get those for as low as $30,000. So no matter what your price range is, no matter what you're looking for, go to FabryChevrolet.com, sort by make and model, sort by mileage, sort by price. You can do it all there at FabryChevrolet.com and go by and see them on Highway 61 in St. Francisville. That is Fabry Chevrolet GMC. A thought on, before we go to break, a thought on that. I can only speak for myself because this is one of those deals where there absolutely is no right or wrong based on your personal feeling. That's not right or wrong. It's just how you feel. As I sit here in June, if LSU goes to court to get R.J. Lewis eligible after signing with the Jazz and the Celtics, that will not feel savory to me. Like that will feel wrong to me. I'm not telling you how you should feel. I'm speaking personally because it's the only thing I can do in this instance. That will feel wrong to me. However, I also believe I know myself well enough to know that, as I just gave you the hypothetical, when they're out there on January 24th against Mississippi State, I don't think I'm going to think about it. I think I'm just going to see the purple and gold jerseys and go, okay, score more points than the other team. I wish I wasn't that way. I wish I could hold myself to a more ethical standard here. But if we're going to play in the Wild Wild West, where everybody's doing everything, and LSU's going to take advantage of that system, I'm not going to like it when it happens, whether that's in June, July, August, whatever. And I'm probably not going to think about it with 3 minutes left at Alabama. And I don't know how every other LSU fan is going to feel about it. I don't know how, if some people will say, well, I hate that. I just can't put up with that. Or some people say, hell yeah, they got their quarterback eligible for gambling on games. Our guy didn't even play in the G League. Sign him up. I don't know. I'm not in either of those camps. I think I'm in the middle, which is very typical for me. But I will not like it as the process is ongoing. I think I'll just get over it when they tip the ball up. And I think that's Will Wade's job here is to win games, and that's what he's going to do. And I think we're well aware that he's going to do whatever it takes to go try to win games. And he's done things that got him fired from this school, which now we know was probably a huge mistake, considering that the NCAA can't hold you liable for anything. But he's going to do whatever it takes. And if he thinks that he's got a case here while everybody else is playing former pros, I'm certainly not going to stop him. It's just going to feel weird, right? I don't know. We'll come back and close out the hour. I want to spend a little time talking about the athletic directors say they won't play Texas Tech and see what that can mean. We'll do that next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Boudreaux's Electrical Services. Boudreaux's Electrical Services. Go with the local option. The local option when it comes to Generac home standby generators. That's Boudreaux's Electrical Services. You can buy the Generac home standby generator to power your home with a power outage from the big box store. You absolutely can do that. No question. They'll come in and they'll install it, and you may never hear from them again. And I can see an instance where over time, something mechanical goes wrong with that generator. They don't know about it. You don't know about it. The power goes out, and you don't have a generator that's powered because you didn't know anything was wrong. That won't happen with Boudreaux's Electrical Services, because if you go with them for your Generac home standby generator, the local team installs it. The local team monitors it 24/7. So if there's an issue, they become aware of it even before you do. They send a team out to make sure everything's on the up and up. The power goes out, whether it's that afternoon thunderstorm that always rolls through here or worse, a hurricane, and your generator is ready to roll. That's what you need. You need the local touch. So give them a call at 985-397-1562. That's 985-397-1562. The Gonzales location, fairly new, 225-300-9389. Neil and Melissa Boudreaux have been at this for 40 years. Trust them with your business at Boudreaux's Electrical Services.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Box combo for George. I see you, Luis. Food's on the way.
Please don't. Hey, you know you can use your hands, right?
Got those box combos for you. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Simone ate the best gumbo of her life, rolled some dice, and enjoyed a relaxing massage. She did not, however, find time to lay by the pool. Well, Simone, there's always next time. Lake Charles, there's a lot to pack in.
As a business owner, you're always focused on how you can improve the bottom line. Well, when was the last time you shopped your insurance coverage? Insurance Network of Louisiana can help. If you're a business owner, let my friends at Insurance Network of Louisiana see if they can find you better coverage for less money. They always offer exceptional customer service and partner with only the best providers. So check them out online today at lainsurance.net.
My name is Mike Krumholt, and I've been with First American Bank for 4 years. What makes First American Bank special is we're able to offer all the products and services that any other big bank can offer. What sets us apart is being able to give that small town feel.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Storm season's here, y'all. It's June. LifetimeRoofingLA.com is where you can find my friends at Lifetime Roofing. They'd love to help you out, maybe with a roofing tune-up. Maybe not a whole new roof, maybe a tune-up. You go get that done and make sure that your roof is fortified and ready for storm season, because we know what that can mean in this part of the world. Want a new roof? They can do it. They can help you file a claim if that's necessary, and if you just want to buy one retail, they can do that, and financing options are available, 0% up to 18 months. And Lifetime Roofing is thrilled to offer you a lifetime workmanship warranty. That's obviously on the workmanship. It's a workmanship warranty, but it comes to guarantee those materials as well that are backed by Certainteed, one of the oldest and most trusted names in building materials. So if you need a new roof, need a fortification roof, need a roof inspection to make sure your roof is ready for storm season, check out my friends at Lifetime Roofing, online at lifetimeroofingla.com. The athletic directors are cranky. They're saying they're not going to play Texas Tech, right? And I think that's an interesting thing to say. If you're at Georgia or wherever where you never play Texas Tech, I don't think there's a lot of punch that you're packing with that decree that we're not scheduling Texas Tech in anything. The only athletic directors that can issue something that would mean something is the athletic directors in the Big 12. If the Big 12 athletic directors say, we're not getting on a plane to Lubbock, we're not showing up to play them until something is done about this, well, then maybe you can affect change. Now, I'm not smart enough to know what that means in terms of wins and losses. Are you forfeiting? I don't know how liable you would be to the television contracts that you've signed, where you're supposed to have football games lined up all day Saturday. You're supposed to have basketball games from November through March. I don't know what the implications would be from simply not showing up or not allowing them to come play you at your campus. I think it's a powerful statement if the Big 12 does it, but I'm not confident that they will, because I just think that everybody wants to keep the wheel turning financially, And to keep the wheel turning financially, you just got to go with the status quo. Maybe not. Maybe these guys will stand up and do something about it. But what you hear from teams in the Big Ten and the SEC doesn't really matter. Texas Tech can find other schools to play that aren't in the Big 12, that aren't in the Big Ten and the SEC. They cannot not play conference games. That destroys everything. So I don't know whether they can pull this off or not. I don't know how serious they are or if they're bluffing. I don't know. But it is clearly reaching a tipping point with some people. Conference realignment stunk for some people. They figured it out. NIL, transfer portal, coaches don't like it. They figure it out. This is getting profanity-laced tirades in the media. This is getting athletic directors to issue statements about canceling games. It appears to me to be affecting some change and stirring up more emotion. If the Big 12 athletic directors can get together and pull that off, they may be able to do something. I don't have confidence that's going to happen. I'm going to bet the chalk, which is everybody playing everybody, until I see differently. I haven't seen that yet. We'll see. ESPN.com come up with their power rankings. What does LSU's schedule look like in football for 2026? We'll do that after SportsCenter.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Gotros Outdoor Power. They're online at gotrosonline.com. That is gotrosonline.com. I was talking to my guy, Gant Gotro, a little bit earlier this week, and they've just got incredible deals that are going on in the month of June, and they want you to stop by all month long to score on these incredible deals. You're talking about Hustler Raptor Series, $200 off. Hustler Fast Track Series, $500 off. Listen to this one. The commercial mowers that they've got in stock from Hustler, up to $1,500 off. And hey, on in-stock units, the week of Father's Day, which is coming up, June 15th through the 20th. You stop by, you can get the deals I just mentioned, as well as no sales tax. Incredible deals in the month of June. If you're looking for that new zero-turn mower, check out my friends at Gotros Outdoor Power, Airline Highway in Baton Rouge, and in Gonzales, gotrosonline.com.
Championships are won with preparation, and so are great roofs.
The Tigers don't cut corners on the floor. Parrish Construction and Roofing won't cut corners on your home either.
Do business with someone you know. Parrish Construction and Roofing.
ParrishBuilt.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit spinela.com and tell them Matt sent you.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized, it'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, They've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby's trial against the NCAA is scheduled for February 8th, 2027, 2 weeks after the college football national championship will be played. Yesterday, a judge granted Sorsby a temporary injunction that might clear him to play for the Red Raiders this fall, even after the NCAA declared him ineligible for wagering on college sports. Unsportsmanlike co-host Chris Canty.
If he's allowed to play, this is going to be his last year of high-level football. There's no NFL team that's going to touch this. Not this. I don't give a damn how good he is, because this is a can of worms that you just don't want to open up. I'm shocked that we have this ruling. I can't imagine that this helps Brandon Sorsby in terms of what his ambitions might be in high-level football beyond college.
Big 12 Executive Board will discuss its options in a meeting with Commissioner Brett Yormark Thursday. Hurricanes coach Rod Brindamore won't reveal whether Brandon Bussey or Freddie Anderson will start in goal Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final tonight versus Vegas, 8 Eastern ESPN. Carolina's down 2-1. Longtime Browns left guard Joe Bitonio retiring after 12 NFL seasons.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman, and coming up Wednesday as the Spurs look to even the finals, I'll tell you what I need to see from Wemby in Game 4 if they want to get the job done. It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Now, the Hunt Palmer Show.
Yes! I feel like I've been waiting for this my entire life.
You're listening to the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Jolly good fun. Jolly good.
Locking down the middle of the day.
America's favorite daytime fun show.
Live from the Raising Cane's studio, this is Hunt Palmer.
Hour 2, Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Immense Networks Cloud IT Management. They're online at immense.net, immense.net. I want to remind you, as I do every single Tuesday, to come out and see us at Court to Table tonight, 8 o'clock, sports trivia. We'll be cranking things up. Have you out of there by like 9:15, so not a late night, but we'll always have a lot of fun there at Court to Table. Start things up at 8. You can win Court to Table gift cards. You can win time on the pickleball courts. They got awesome drinks. The food at Court to Table is awesome. So if you want to come and eat dinner, drink some drinks, watch some sports on TV, and win some gift cards, it's always a great time. So hope to have you out. You can come by yourself. Bring a team. You can come with 6 people. You can come with 2 people, whatever the case may be, and test your sports knowledge. Tonight, 8 o'clock at Court to Table in Burbank. We're there every single Tuesday. Hope to see you out there this evening. Sharief Ishaq will be along in 30 minutes. He's here talking some Saints. We're just texting back and forth with Sharief. He's gonna make me go on his news broadcast. How dare he? I get him on. He probably sits out 3 a year, so we'll call it 49 times a year we have him on. He has the audacity to get me on his show twice a year. Inconvenience me with that. We'll inconvenience him. Coming up in 30 minutes, he'll talk some Saints with us. We appreciate him for doing that every single Tuesday. Let's talk some Tigers right now, and the teams that LSU will play right now. This is not necessarily a snapshot of 2026. This is a projection of the program over the next 2 seasons. So keep in mind, as I did in the first hour with the Saints segment, that there needs to be a steady dose of salt here applied, right? Nobody this time last year was projecting LSU for 2 years with Brian Kelly getting fired at Halloween and then turning around and hiring Lane Kiffin. Like that wasn't in anybody's June power rankings for LSU. So we understand that this is not to be taken as gospel. It's just a discussion point, right? But I wanted to look at where they ranked LSU, because these power rankings on ESPN.com are the top 68 in the country. And it starts at the very bottom with Boston College at 68, and goes all the way to number 1. And I wanted to look at where they have LSU and also where they have LSU's SEC opponents for this year. Because we know that things get so wild in the offseason. Quarterbacks transfer all over the place. Players jump in the portal left and right. Signing classes that looked great on paper from high school are dismantled a year or two into them. Coaches are hired and fired. Coordinators move. Like, things happen that are going to throw this all into whack. But I just want a sense of what ESPN thinks about who LSU is going to play this year and then what they think of LSU. And so I start with the Tigers. And they've got LSU, in terms of the 68 teams in the power leagues, 8th. Number 8 in the country in program power rankings over the next 2 seasons. They love the quarterback situation. Said LSU landed Arizona State transfer Sam Leavitt, who led the Sun Devils to a Big 12 title and a CFP appearance. Leavitt entered last season as an NFL prospect and has 36 career touchdowns, only 11 picks. He has junior eligibility, but LSU's also got Husan Longstreet and Landon Clark there as well. They like LSU up front on the offensive defensive line. They also like the roster management, saying the school's offseason spending spree included hiring Lane Kiffin, an ambitious portal push that produced ESPN's number 1 portal class. They mentioned Ty Benefield, Jace Brown, Trey Wilson, Trey Brown, and the return of Whit Weeks and Trey Green as real keys in terms of roster management. They love the star power, Trey Green being chief among those, but also mentioned Leavitt, Prince William and Jordan Seaton, who could command national honors. And LSU swung big and landed its target in Lane Kiffin, who helped Ole Miss to its first CFP appearance. Charlie Weiss is a great offensive coordinator, brought with him Joe Cox, Chris Kiffin, and you retained Blake Baker, also recently brought in Ed Ogeron, which they mentioned in the blurb here. So they like LSU where they sit from a program stability standpoint. And that makes sense because we feel like there's a pretty good chance, and I know who I'm talking about. I'm well aware who I'm talking about here. We feel like there's a pretty good chance Lane Kiffin's here for the next 2 years, don't we? Feel like there's a pretty good chance of that. If he goes to the NFL next year, surely he won a national championship, right? So I think he's going to be here for 2 years. I think that's a reasonable thing to put LSU at number 8. But I was curious about LSU's opponents this year and where they rank on this metric. The best opponent in terms of program stability for the next 2 seasons on LSU's schedule in 2026 is a home game the Tigers will play against Texas. They've got the Longhorns at number 3 nationally. Incidentally, Notre Dame is number 1 on this list. But Texas number 3. The second most stable program that LSU will play this year, also coming to Tiger Stadium, is Texas A&M. ESPN ranks them as the number 9 program in terms of stability and staying power. The third best program LSU will play this year is also coming to Tiger Stadium. It's Alabama at number 10. So 3 of the top 10, Texas number 3, A&M number 9, Bama at number 10, coming to Tiger Stadium this year. Now, the next team on LSU's schedule on this list is number 12. 4 of the top 12 LSU will play this year. And this is the Ole Miss Rebels. A lot of this is about Trinidad Chambliss coming back, but they also like Deuce Knight backing up Chambliss and being the heir apparent when Trinidad Chambliss is done. When it comes to roster management, it says Lane Kiffin's dramatic departure to a rival school did not damage Ole Miss as much as originally feared. The Rebels retained Chambliss, Doak Walk Award finalist Kejuan Lacey, dynamic linebacker son Taryn Perkins, and several other valuable interior linemen. They also picked up Luke Farrelly at linebacker, Jay Crawford, Sharief Dotson, Joel Aguero, and Edwin Joseph at defensive backfield. And though Uman Mielen and TJ Dottery followed Kiffin to LSU, talented receiver Caden Lee went to Missouri, and Sean Womack went to Auburn. Ole Miss's 2026 recruiting class fell just outside the national top 25, and the 2027 class already has 4 top 300 commitments. They like the way that Pete Golding is recruiting. They got Ole Miss at number 12, and that's an interesting hot button topic. Like, what is Ole Miss going to do post Kiffin? I think everyone feels pretty good about him this year. You still got Chambliss, you still got Lacey, you still got some of the guys that made that team go last year, and they got the most important position, which is quarterback. So Ole Miss is number 12, and Tennessee is number 18 on this list. LSU will travel to Knoxville. Now, I've told you all offseason that Clemson has been disrespected by all of these national outlets, and they have. People don't feel good about Clemson moving forward. In this metric, over the next 2 years, they've got Clemson at number 22. That is next on LSU's schedule. So you're looking at, on LSU's schedule, coming to Death Valley, Texas number 3, Bama number 10, A&M number 9, sorry I missed that, and Clemson number 22. 4 of the top 22 in the country coming to Tiger Stadium. Also, road games to number 12 and number 18. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the top 25 are on LSU's schedule this year. That's tough. Now, the flip side of that is that your last 4 league games are outside the top 40. At Auburn, 42. At Kentucky, 47. Mississippi State in Tiger Stadium, that's 52. And at Arkansas, that is 61 with a new coach. There are only 68 teams in the Power 5. They think Arkansas is worse than all but 7 of them. So if you look at this, yeah, you play some really good teams. But the top 3 are in Tiger Stadium. You do have 4 SEC games that essentially look like must-wins if you're going to make a push at this thing and try to get to the college football playoff. You must beat Auburn on the road. You must beat Kentucky on the road. You must beat Mississippi State in Tiger Stadium. You must go to Arkansas and win. Those are non-negotiables. You have to win those 4 games. Because if you lose one of those 4 games, you're going to have to run the gauntlet of Texas, Texas A&M, Bama, Ole Miss, Clemson, and Tennessee at least 6-1. So, or 5-1. Sorry, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5-1. So that's a tall task. You start to look at the schedule, and it's really difficult. But if you can go run the table on Auburn, Kentucky, Mississippi State, and Arkansas, and 3 of those games are on the road. But if you can run the table in those games, it gets more palatable because you feel like, as tough as the schedule is, you can go 4-2 in the other ones, and you're just fine. I realize Vanderbilt got left out this past year. I know that 10-2 is no longer a slam dunk to get in like we thought it was this time last year. But you're not getting to 10-2 if you can't beat those 4 teams at the bottom. And it's going to be hard to get to 10-2 playing all these really good teams at the top. But the good news for you is Texas is going to have to deal with Tiger Stadium. A&M's going to have to deal with Tiger Stadium. Bama's going to have to deal with Tiger Stadium. And Clemson's going to have to deal with Tiger Stadium. And I'm well aware of what happened in Tiger Stadium last year when A&M came to town. Saw it with my own 2 eyes. I know it can be done. It's not done very often. So we'll see how all that shakes out. Any way you slice it, this is a monster schedule for LSU, a monster opportunity. And LSU will be among the most interesting teams in college football this year because of its own soap opera and the schedule that is in front of it, which is extremely daunting if you look at it. You can read the story up there at ESPN.com. Goes through the entire top 68 in the Power 4. LSU comes in at number 8, which is a pretty solid spot to be in. If you're the Tigers, that is firmly a playoff team if you do finish 8th in the country. Let's hope that is the case. Our Tuesday shows brought to you by Immense Network Cloud IT Management. Sharief, Ishaq in 15 minutes. Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Want to take some hacks? You may not want to take some hacks, but maybe your kids do. If you got a youth baseball player or 3, youth softball player or 2 under your roof, they're looking for something to do this summer. It's 1,000 degrees. It rains every day at 3 o'clock. Can't get practice in the way we want to. Well, you can at the Hitter's House at Marucci. If you become a member of the Hitter's House at Marucci, you get a key card. That comes with 24/7 access to the cages and the facilities over at the Hitter's House at Marucci. So you can get your swings in at 6 a.m. You can get your swings in at lunch. You can get your swings in after dinner if you want to. It's all available to you over at the Hitter's House at Marucci. Go by and see them or check them out online, maruccisports.com, and become a member of the Hitter's House so that your kid or you can take some hacks whenever it is that opportunity presents itself. It's all there at the Hitter's House at Marucci.
Investing in a new roof doesn't have to be overwhelming. At Pelican Roofing, we offer 0 interest for 21 months because everyone deserves a safe, secure home. Trusted, local, affordable. Pelican Roofing, making quality roofing affordable for South Louisiana.
I'm Billy Schmidt, and I've been with First American Bank for 13 years. I have a passion of getting to know customers, getting to know their journeys, getting to know their stories, and being a small part of that, and just continuing that, and taking those relationships and expanding out into the community, just to make First American a household name. And people look at us and say, hey, what's special about you guys? You're part of a family.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
Eagle 98.1, the rock station. Home of the Woody Show in the morning. Scotty Mack with Rock at Work. Michelle Southern with Southern Rock. Home of LSU sports since 1998. And rock for Baton Rouge since 1985. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. And join our VIP fan club. Text ROCK to 225-499-9898. Eagle 98.1, the rock station.
The experts at Hood Dental Care want you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays. A $376 value. With over 3,000 5-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care. Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And we always...
This is the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
I'm telling you, my friends at Immense Networks, Cloud IT Management, if your IT department just feels overworked, you feel like there's constant issues, he, she, they are running around trying to put out fires constantly all day. You got employees that are frustrated because their computer's frozen or somebody clicked on this and now this part's not working and this laptop's not functioning, and you just feel like there's constant trouble. Well, Immense Networks Cloud IT Management can help with that. They're not trying to replace your in-house IT department. They're there to assist, to be proactive, to monitor things 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to make sure that things are running smoothly, to get out in front of issues as they can happen. So if maybe you're just understaffed from an IT perspective, contact Immense Networks. They're happy to help you out with that. If you've got a third party that just doesn't seem to be doing the job, you can't get a hold of them, the call center's all clogged up, and if you do submit a ticket, it takes forever for them to get back to you. This probably sounds familiar to some of you. Immense Networks Cloud IT Management can help you with that. They are small enough to have that personal touch, to be in contact with you daily. They're also big enough to handle big business, and what they want to do is help you use information technology to better your business, not just put out fires all the time, but help you use technology to do your job a little bit better. Maybe you don't know what you don't know. Immense Networks Cloud IT Management can help you out with that. If you're in Baton Rouge, they can help you. If you're in South Louisiana, they can help you. They're a proactive consultant and want to partner with you, especially if you're between 50 and 100 employees. That's their sweet spot at Immense. They're online at immense.net. Check them out online, immense.net. There's a lot of chatter on the old internet that LSU is gaining on another running back commitment. Of course, over the weekend, LSU nabbed Brennan Lacey, who's a 3-star running back from Frisco, Texas. Kevin Smith, with his first commitment as running backs coach at LSU, brings the Frisco, Texas native into the fold. And it sounds like they've got a really good chance to land Trey Segara, Trey Segara is big physical back, who is from South Carolina, and LSU brought in for a visit, and they feel like there's a really good chance they could get him. And I think that's great. I think Kevin Smith identifying the guys that he wants is awesome. Nobody even heard of Kejuan Lacey last year at this time, and he became the best running back in the country. They've done great things with Quinshon Judkins in Oxford, and they've churned out some really good running backs that weren't 5-star recruits. So if Kevin Smith identifies somebody he wants to bring into the fold, I support that. I think he's done an awesome job at his stops as a running backs coach, and that's great. But what I am interested in, and this is really apropos of nothing, it doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot. It's just something I noticed that I find interesting, is that neither Lacey, a Texas native, nor Segara, a South Carolina native, is from Louisiana, obviously. And that's a position at running back that LSU has been so Louisiana heavy. It has been unbelievable. I promise, I do a lot of prep before the show. I did not prep this before the show. In the break, I just wrote these names down. Harlem Berry, John Emery, Ty Davis Price, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Nick Brissett, Jeremy Hill, Leonard Fournette, Darius Geis, Kenny Hilliard, Alfred Blue, Jacob Hester, Keelan Williams, Charles Scott. Need I go any further? I just went back to 2005. And I didn't name every running back LSU's had. Yep, Spencer Ware had an awesome career. He was not from here. Caden Durham's on the roster right now from Louisiana. Joseph Fadai was a stud from Texas. They've certainly had backs that weren't from right here. But they've had a ton that were from right here. And for LSU to immediately go outside the state for your first 2 running back commitments, I found interesting. Now, it's not like they chose Trey Segara and Brennan Lacey over some top 5 player in the nation, 5-star out of New Orleans that they just neglected. These are just the guys they identified. And look, Trey Martin is from Franklin Parish. He's a 4-star. He's one of the best backs in the country, and LSU is heavily recruiting him for this class. So it's certainly not to suggest that LSU is just abandoning its Louisiana roots at running back. But no position has been as Louisiana heavy as running back at LSU. They've had a lot of Louisiana wide receivers, Landry, Chase, Thomas, Neighbors. You get the point. Jefferson, Beckham, a lot of those guys are from Louisiana too. A lot of the team's been from Louisiana over the years. But running back has been one where you just feel like under every circumstance, you can dip into Louisiana, grab a 4-star, top 15 back in the country, plug him in at LSU, throw the gold helmet on, and get 800 yards and 7 touchdowns out of him. Maybe get 1,600 yards and 18 touchdowns out of him if it's the case of Darius Geis or Leonard Fournette or Jeremy Hill. But it just I noticed it. I was like, oh, that guy's not from Louisiana. That guy's not from Louisiana. And again, we saw Lane Kiffin and Kevin Smith making the rounds when recruiting season was in full gear, and they were eating boudin over in Scott, and they were on social media, and they were doing things in Louisiana. And I don't think for 1 second that LSU is neglecting the home state. But it's a spot on the roster that has just churned through Louisiana guys headed for 1,000-yard seasons in the NFL over time. And I anticipate that will continue to happen. And look, Harlem Berry may be the lead back on this team. And he is very much from Louisiana, very much from New Orleans, and very much a guy that LSU recruited for 3 years before he ever showed up here. And I'm hopeful that he's everything we thought he would be. But there's a chance Dylan Jones is the lead back on this team. Caden Durham's going to get carries on this team. You brought in 3 transfer running backs in the portal that are not from Louisiana. So it's just a little bit of a different time where you're going to go get guys from out of state, especially with Kevin Smith's national connections and his national name recognition, and the fact that he's not Frank Wilson, who was always going to go to Louisiana first. Right, wrong, or indifferent, that's just the way it was, right? We saw it. We watched it. I just rattled through 20 years of players that were all from Louisiana at the same position who were lead backs at one time or another for LSU. I didn't even mention Alfred Blue. Well, yeah, I did. He's on that list. That team in 11 that just rolled through those backs. It was where to start. And I didn't mention Michael Ford on this list, who's from Leesville. But it was Michael Ford, Kenny Hilliard, Alfred Blue, Spencer Ware just coming at you. And then with the Hester team, it was Hester, Louisiana. It was Charles Scott, Louisiana. Keelan Williams, Louisiana. Trenton Holiday, Louisiana. You got Stephen Ridley from right over across in Mississippi over there in Vicksburg. But close. If you hear Stephen Ridley talk, you would think he's from Louisiana. But it's just been a very local position at LSU over the years. Of course, the legends like Kevin Falk is a Louisiana guy. Billy Cannon is a Louisiana guy. But it's not in the case of Brennan Lacey, and it's not in the case if they are able to land Trey Segura. And maybe Trey Martin does jump in the boat from Lincoln Parish, and that's your Louisiana guy for this class. But it's just that's a position. I'll get Hester's thoughts on this maybe on tomorrow's OTB, that it's just Louisiana for some reason hasn't been awesome with offensive linemen, hasn't been awesome with defensive linemen, and hasn't been awesome at quarterback over the years. But, man, DBs, got them. Running backs, got them. Receivers, got them. Like you have been able to milk that honey hole for all it's worth. And I anticipate this staff will continue to do that. It's just something that caught my mind. And look, I watched the highlight tapes of Brennan Lacey. I like what he's about. I watched the highlight tapes of Trey Segura. He looks like a dude. He's a big physical guy. One thing I like about the highlights, because you can see how big he is at some of the up-close all 22 shots that zoom in right behind the quarterback. He's big and physical. He also outruns everybody on the field, which I always like. And I think that Kevin Smith's going to do a really good job at running backs, coach. Like I told y'all when it happened, I'm not going to back off of it. I told y'all what I thought. I thought that keeping Frank Wilson on staff would be a positive thing for LSU football. I did not think Frank Wilson leaving the staff would decimate LSU football. I think you can suggest both of those to be true. I like a guy who's got deep relationships in New Orleans. I think you can move on without him. They moved on without him. I think Kevin Smith is a great running backs coach, and I loved what I saw from him at practice in the spring. I thought he was hands-on. I thought he was demanding. I thought he was detail-oriented. I thought that the players responded to him, and I think that he is making guys improve, and I think he'll be really good at recruiting as well. We talked to some of the players during spring ball about his coaching style, and they all really like him, and he did a great job at Ole Miss, obviously. Kejuan Lacey's a superstar. So I'm optimistic about that. I just find it interesting that they've managed to go outside the state for one running back commit to this point, and looks like they're beating down the door of another one at this point. And we'll update you as that happens. But a lot of folks are putting in their recruiting prediction machine picks in for Trey Segura to leave the state of South Carolina, where he's been looking at Clemson, looking at South Carolina, looking at Tennessee, to come down to LSU to be a tailback in this offense. And see a situation next year where you've got a lot of guys in that room and only one or two from Louisiana. That's been a rarity in this state at that position at this school over the course of the last 3 decades. So just a thought on some running back recruiting there at LSU. We're brought to you by Immense Networks Cloud IT Management. When we come back, Sharief, Ishaq, WDSU, talking Saints. That's next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
First American Bank and Trust, FABT.com. FABT.com is the website, but you don't need to go to the website. You can. You don't need to. Stop in a branch. If you're in Southeast Louisiana listening to us, which is a lot of y'all, then go see them. Down the bayou, they're there. Lafourche Parish, Terrebonne Parish, Lafourche, St. John, St. James. If you're up I-12, they're there. In St. Tammany, Tangipahoa, if you're over in Metairie, they're there. Just outside Baton Rouge, Dutchtown, Jones Creek, they're there. They're a community bank, part of the fabric of our communities in Southeast Louisiana. And I say that seriously. They've been at this since 1910. That's 116 years. They've got the resources to help you with your commercial loan, with your personal loan. They've also got that personal touch that comes with the community bank. That's why you do business with someone local. First American Bank and Trust. They're online at FABT.com. But go see them. It's First American Bank and Trust.
Box combo for George. I see you, Luis. Food's on the way.
Please don't. Hey, you know you can use your hands, right?
Got those box combos for you. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding.
Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience, or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Simone ate the best gumbo of her life, rolled some dice, and enjoyed a relaxing massage. She did not, however, find time to lay by the pool. Well, Simone, there's always next time. Lake Charles, there's a lot to pack in.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even JB could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of JB Falgu.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we know each case and client are unique, and that no two cases are the same. But one thing remains constant, and that is our passion to help our clients. After an accident, we know your life has changed, which is why we passionately.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Tuesday show is always brought to you by Immense Networks Cloud IT Management. Always talking Saints, bottom of hour 2 on Tuesdays. To do that, we bring in Sharief Ishaq from WDSU down in New Orleans. Joins us now on the Jim's Firearms Hotline. Sharief, how we doing?
Doing well, man. Hope you're doing well yourself.
I am. I'm trying to make it through without the Tigers in the College World Series, but we've known that for 3 weeks, so my ability to catch up emotionally just needs some work, I think.
I know the feeling, man. You know, every other year. I'm good with it every other year.
That'll work. If they win it every other year, I'll be just fine. So we'll see if they can make that happen. The Saints haven't won it since 2009, so we need to work on that at this point. So let's talk about the black and gold. I haven't gotten your thoughts yet on the Alvin Kamara pop in and kind of what that may mean. Any scuttlebutt that's broken out of it last week since that happened. What do you think?
I think he wanted to show them that, look, I want to be part of this organization, my final year of the contract, and I want to fulfill whatever I can do for the team. I told you a couple of weeks ago they want to make sure that if he's coming back to this team, that he's going to be a good leader, that he's going to fit in, he's going to help the young players, and not do anything, out of characteristic and try to spearhead any kind of like, oh, we don't like this guy, that guy. Just want to make sure that this is going to be a good fit for him in his final year, and it's going to make sure it helps out the younger guys. So I think he wanted to show, look, I'm here. I'm under contract. That's like he said. Whatever else happens, that's up to Mickey. I mean, he said he had not talked to Mickey, and he says he doesn't really do all that. That's on his agent. But from the sounds of it, Hunt, he's going to be there. Now the question is, do they rework his contract? And in my opinion, I don't think they need to do that. There's no need to kick the can down the road on the final year of a contract. Just let it play out the way it is. You're under the salary cap. He can help you in a way. You can line him up in, the slot. You can line him up on, first and second down. Passing downs, I know, can be a little dicey because his run blocking isn't great, but there's a way to use him, at his age and for this offense and the way Kellen Moore runs this offense. So, you know what? There's no need to mess with the contract. Leave it as is. Don't kick the can down the road anymore.
All right, let's make this really open-ended, and I want to take away contract situations. I want to take away rumors off the field. I just want to talk about the Saints scoring points on offense. How do you think they best do that with HN, Kamara, Devin Neal, Autry Estime, Kendre Miller? You're not carrying 5 running backs on a roster. So what's the best football remedy, recipe for the Saints at running back if you take contracts out of the equation?
Just for this year or
for this
forward?
year? For this year.
This year? Okay, well, Achane is your number 1. No doubt about it. Alvin's on your roster. He's the number 2, and he has to play that number 2 role like he has done in the past whenever he was younger. And he says he's okay with that. So that's it. Devin Neal is your number 3. Then you figure out if you want to keep a 4th running back. And as you know, Hunt, this team gets beat up. They need depth. So if it were me, I'm picking Estime. That is just me. And I think you can roll with those 4 guys. And I think you can find a way to use 1 and 2 on the field at the same time because both of those guys can spread the defense and make them work really hard. I think that's look, you could run 3 running backs out there and have Estime as your power back and have the other 2 guys somehow line up in the slot or have one of them line up in the backfield and go out and run a wheel route. There's a way to use all 3 of your top 3 backs. Or Devin Neal. It doesn't matter. You can find a way to spread this workload out with all 4 guys that you keep on this roster because I still think that there's a way to make it work with this running back room, especially Kamara. I know he's going to be 31 coming up here next month. There's a way to make it work, man. There's a way to still get some use out of him in terms of being a receiver and just minimizing his carries. Don't put him in a bad spot where he has to block. And Achane, I think he's just so elusive and so dynamic that you could use him in both. Devin Neal the same way, and you get your power back with Estime. So there's a way to go forward with this offense this year with those 4 running backs if they are the running backs they pick. I think that's the way they should do it because they wanted guys who are versatile, and they got versatile running backs now. So I think it works. It works in today's NFL. That's the direction they're moving in. And if you want to run a pace, up-tempo type of offense, I mean, those are your running backs that can do it. And I think to me, that's how you get it done. You want to make sure that they can catch passes out of the backfield. They can catch passes in the slot. They can put so much pressure on defenses, which I think they can. So right now they're in good shape. They're in good shape if they keep 4 of those 5 running backs and moving forward.
That did not mention Kendre Miller. We know that he got hurt again last year. The best availability is availability. The best ability is availability, they say. Kendre Miller's got about none of that. So do you think that his time in New Orleans is coming to an end?
I think it's going to be a fight. It's going to be a fight for him because he was playing well last year until he got hurt. But, yeah, as we say, like you just said, he has to be on the field. You got to continue to be on the field, and he has just had a hard time staying on the field, and the guys behind them just passed him up. I mean, Neal, Estime, what Estime did to close the season proves why you should maybe have a guy like him on your roster and not buried as, a practice squad guy. So I'm thinking he's going to be fighting for his roster spot this year during training camp.
And so with all that said, personnel-wise, do you feel the Saints will be significantly improved running the ball this year with the retooled and reworked running back room, as well as a new left guard and older tackles and a healthy center?
I 100% do. I truly do. And I like the fact that they got Jeremiah Wright, too, an addition there, and they got, David Edwards, as you said. But, yeah, I do. I really do because I think of it this way, Hunt, because Tyler Sharief didn't come in until November when they played the Rams on the road. He started to get his footing to close the season, so I think he gets better during the offseason. And now you have him almost a 1 full year between the time he has to start until he takes over in September. That's 10 months. So I think it's going to be in a better position for the franchise, and as well as Tyler Sharief, as well as the running game, as well as the entire offense. So yeah, I do. I truly do think the running game is going to be better because everyone else around, Tyler Sharief and the running backs are going to be better. So just my opinion, I think it's really hard to go down from the number 28 rushing offense in the NFL. I mean, you could go to 30, 32, 9 rushing touchdowns, which was second to last, tied for second to last in the NFL. I don't think they can go up from there, truly. I mean, it's cliche. I think they could be middle of the pack. They could definitely be middle of the pack, top 15 rushing offense.
And here's the question that is got to be finessed: is you've got a quarterback that can run, but how many hits do you want him to take? That's the question. So how involved do you think Tyler Shuck is in making this running game go?
I think it's going to be the whole, look, man, if you're going to run, just protect yourself. Don't take any big hits. If you see the lane, like you did in Tampa Bay when you had that touchdown, take it. If you see any other kind of running lane, take it. Just make sure you're just doing it properly and not getting crushed. We need you as our quarterback. I think it's the third or fourth choice for him. But if it's there, why not? Take off and get you like your 7, 8, 9 yards. I like that idea. Now, let's see what happens when people play spy on him. That's going to be the real question. Will he try outrunning somebody who's a fast running back, a linebacker? So, yeah, I'm good with it. You need to equate that into the running back running situation for the Saints. He needs to be a running quarterback at times, but don't overuse it. Don't get him beat up, because then you're going to be in a bad situation. He gets hurt, gets dinged up. So I think that you make his running ability the third or fourth option, with first being one of those other guys, second being a pass, and then maybe running third or fourth option there. So I like the way it sets up in terms of the entire running situation as we sit here on June 9th.
We spent a bunch of time in our first hour today talking about the Saints offense and talking about the expectation from ESPN.com is one of the 7 or 8 worst offenses in the NFL. They were that most of the year last year. How confident are you that they are not going to be that this year?
I'm just looking at the way it was trending. Like, everyone wants them to win 10, 11 games. You're seeing the hype. I'm here to be realistic.
Okay.
I'm just being honest here. I told you I'd be a little bit realistic. Last year I picked them to go 5-12. They went 6-11. I think they got to continue that trend upward. So if they go 8-9 or even 9-8, that's great. No one is expecting you to make the playoffs in year 2 under Kellen Moore as you continue to rebuild this entire team. No one's expecting that. But if you sneak in with a 9-8 record like the Carolina Panthers did last year by winning the division, that's the cherry on top. And then you go into 2027 with all the cap space and another good draft, and watch out. You become a double-digit win team. I'm just being the realistic person there. 7.5 in Vegas. 8 wins sounds about right. For right now, 8, maybe 9. And there's nothing wrong with that, Hunt. People who want the 10 to 12 wins this year, that's just being a fan at that point. You just got to look at it from your realistic standpoint.
Anything of note from OTAs, from press conferences you picked up over the last week since we last talked?
Nothing, man. I mean, as I was walking out, I remember walking out of that practice last Wednesday, and I was looking for Oscar Delp, and he was there, but he did not do anything. He was watching. Yeah. So that's promising. At least he was probably rehabbing throughout the last week. It feels like he tweaked something, whether it's a hamstring, a calf, or something, whenever he pulled up on that last play of the first OTAs we watched. So nothing crazy. I mean, Ishaq continues to look sharp with all the new weapons. I mean, and let's see how much more chemistry he can build. That's all I'm really looking forward to, is how much chemistry he can build with the guys, they put out there in the field, to help him out and continue to develop and continue to grow in this offense. I mean, that's about it. That's all you can see in this last OTAs. Next week's a little different story when they have mandatory minicamp Tuesday and Wednesday.
Looking forward to it. We'll talk to you then.
All right. See you
Is Sharief Ishaq, WDSU down in New Orleans. Always good to give us our Saints update from the Big Easy. We got one segment left. We'll come back and close it out next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
The Highland Insurance Group, they're online at HighlandIG.com. That's HighlandIG.com. Do you know about captives? If you're a sizable business, you pay a substantial amount in premiums every single year for your insurance. You've got great loss history. You don't file significant claims. Your risk management's good. You may be a fit for a captive. And if that's the case, and your broker hasn't showed you that, well, that may be an issue. The Highland Insurance Group handles captives every single day. So if you're looking for a game changer for the bottom line on your insurance costs, contact the Highland Insurance Group at HighlandIG.com and say, hey, I'd like to talk about a captive. Heard about it on Hunt's show. What can you tell me? They'll have that sit down. Now, you got to be a fit. You've got to have the premium that meets the standard. You've got to have the loss history that meets the standard. You've got to have a risk management department in-house that makes sure you're keeping things safe. But if you do fit, it could be a complete game changer to your bottom line annually when it comes to insurance costs. So contact Jonathan Carbo and his team at the Howard Insurance Group and look into a captive. Could be a game changer for you. It's the Howard Insurance Group based right here in Baton Rouge. They can help you out statewide. It's the Howard Insurance Group online at highlandig.com.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
At Parrish, we take pride in building roofs that last, because championships are built on commitment, not just on the floor or the court, but your home too.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. If you're battling an insurance company because of a wreck not your fault and they're not calling you back or being fair, whether you hire us at all, give us a call, 272-5555, or email LockeMeredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. You have nothing to lose.
Hello, I'm Collins Meredith. If you've been injured on the job, you likely have a workers' compensation claim, but you may also have a tort claim, which opens up significant recovery rights not normally available for a work injury. If this is you, call us or come see us at Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
It is road trip season in the summer. Maybe you're headed to the beach. Maybe you're headed to see the grandparents. Maybe headed to travel baseball. Maybe you're headed up to the Tennessee mountains. Wherever you're headed in the car with the family, if you need a new ride, Fabry Chevrolet GMC is happy to help you out with that. Got incredible deals on Chevy Silverados and GMC Sierras from a truck perspective. They got your SUVs covered as well. Chevy Suburbans, Tahoes. Also got the GMC Yukon, Denali's. If you're looking for new, looking for pre-owned, they've got it all at FabryChevrolet.com. Go to the website. You can sort by make and model if you know exactly what you're looking for. You can sort by mileage. You can sort new or used. You can sort by price as well. No matter what you're looking for, they can help you. It's an incredibly user-friendly website, and the experience is only better when you go to Highway 61 in St. Francisville and set foot on the lot and let them help you get behind the car that you're looking for. The Fabry family's been in business for 35 years here in Baton Rouge. They've built their reputation on quality customer service because they deliver that each and every time. So go by and see him, Highway 61 in St. Francisville. Get behind the wheel of that new or pre-owned vehicle for your summer road trip. It's Fabry Chevrolet GMC online, FabryChevrolet.com. All right, the news of the Southeastern Conference today, South Carolina reaching an agreement with former Coastal Carolina head coach Kevin Schnall. He will be the new head coach of the Gamecocks. Of course, you recall Kevin Schnall last year. The last time you saw him, he was getting ejected from Game 2 of the College World Series Final on that Sunday in Omaha. I still could not believe my eyes from the press box when I watched that happen. Y'all by now know my feelings on ejections very good and well, and I'm well aware that all of you say, hey, can't argue balls and strikes, you throw them out of the game. Can't have it. That's what you'll say. I'll say don't throw people out of the College World Series Final. Just don't listen to him argue balls and strikes. Or if he argues balls and strikes and says, you're a blankety blank blank, call it better, turn around and say, shut up, I'm doing my job, and go sit in the dugout. Just don't throw him out of the game. That's what I would do. I'm clearly in the minority. Everybody else wants to throw everybody out. We cannot pimp home runs. We cannot throw bats in the air. We can't argue balls and strikes. We're throwing everybody out. That's the last time we saw Kevin Schnall. But Kevin Schnall has done a really good job at Coastal Carolina. They were injury-riddled this year. They lost Cam Flukie, for an extended period of time. Y'all saw how good he was. He was Coastal's pitcher in Game 1 of that championship series against Cade Anderson. It took Cade throwing a shutout over 9 innings for LSU to win that game. They've had some really solid players there, and he'll have an opportunity to move up in the world. He'll increase his pay probably by 100%, maybe 150% from what he's making at Coastal. I believe he's at $500K at Coastal. You're probably talking about $1.5 million at South Carolina, and I think it's a good hire. He's a little rough around the edges. There's no question about that, but he's passionate. He's a good baseball dude, so I'm sure that will go better than what than what they've done the last couple of years. But my lasting memory of Kevin Schnall until otherwise is him getting tossed in the first inning of Game 2 of the College World Series Final. Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
All right, so a Texas court has scheduled Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby trial against the NCAA for February 8th of 2027, 2 weeks after the college football playoffs national championship. So going to trial after playing the whole season, take it or leave it.
I'm going to leave that one. Is there any common sense anywhere in the world? No one knows how to function in society anymore. We've just completely lost the plot.
Yep.
We are having a hearing on his eligibility after his eligibility is over?
Yes.
How is this a thing? This is the system that runs the laws in our country?
Yep.
And we are scheduling this after it's over? It's then just say we can't have a trial. We can't do it fast enough. There's no trial. Yep. He's eligible. Because what are you going to accomplish on the 8th of February? Like, there's nothing you can't do anything. How is this the world we live in? I'm blown away every day. Every day I'm blown away at more stupidity. And this is our court system.
Yep.
Supposed to run the show around here. Can't do it.
And that's why I had the lead off for taking a leave with that
Great.
one. So
Awesome.
A.J. Brown made sure the Philadelphia Eagles remember him as he left the facility following the New England Patriots trade. As Brown was saying farewell to his now former teammates and coaches, he signed a picture of himself that the Eagles put up of all their Pro Bowl players with the message, "Best to ever play here, always open." So is A.J. Brown throwing shots on his way out? Take it or leave it.
I'll leave it. I mean, I think he's just saying the best ever. Like, who's the best Eagles receiver of all time? I mean, T.O.
Maybe
played T.O. with a broken leg.
Yeah. I'm not an Eagles historian, so I couldn't tell you all the Eagles history.
I don't.
Other than T.O.
Yeah, I'm struggling with.
It ain't Alshon Jeffrey.
I had Alshon Jeffrey on my fantasy team like 100 years in a row. It's like a running joke in my because he always had like 8 catches every Sunday. Oh, no, he didn't score a lot of touchdowns. He wasn't making like 80-yard catches, but he was getting me 8 catches for 70 yards every Sunday.
PPR.
That's what I was taking. Yeah, I don't have a great answer for best Eagles receiver of all time.
No idea other than T.O.
Maybe it's A.J. Brown.
It might be because he went All-Pro, I think, 3 or 4 times already. So with the Eagles. So the Knicks lost last night, but that's not the real story.
Who called that?
You did. Hey, you definitely called that. You definitely called it. Everybody was on the Spurs. Well, no, they was on the Knicks. You was on the Spurs last night. So the Knicks lost, and the Spurs fans that traveled to the Garden were getting attacked by an angry mob of Knicks fans outside of the arena after the game. So is New York a bad sports town? Take it or leave it.
I'll leave it. It's a great sports town, but it's gonna be rough. Like it's gonna be a rough group of dudes. That's just the way it is. You're gonna see that in Philly.
Yep.
You're gonna see that in New York. It just is what it is. You're not catching that in Los Angeles.
No, not
You're not
close.
catching that in Miami.
Nope.
But you're gonna catch that in New York and Philly. You're not getting that in St. Louis.
Not even close.
You're really probably not getting it in Chicago. Although I do think there are Saints fans that didn't have a great experience at the
What
NFC
if you have Packers
Championship
clothes
game.
on though?
Then you might be catching some.
Okay.
Like I don't think that Cubs, White Sox, Bears, Blackhawks fans have a reputation of getting too
Unless
over
it's
the
Packers,
top.
like, the Brewers
Packers,
or
they don't
something,
like,
how you feel about the Brewers.
Philly, exactly. Philly and New York, it's going to be a little rough. I mean, you go out to bleachers at Yankee Stadium, it's going to be a little rough out there.
And you know what? It's funny we say that because I kind of see the same way when LSU plays Ole Miss. You can't catch me wearing anything LSU in Oxford that way. There's just no way. There's no way. Something's going to happen.
Those guys, they put chandeliers up and they're not doing anything. Like, I'm not going to pick a fight.
God bless.
I'm an undefeated 0-0 in fights all time. And look, I'm not going to get in a fight. There's nobody in Ole Miss is picking a fight. They'll get drunk and they don't like Lane Kiffin, but they're not going to fight you. Unless you just act like an idiot.
Oh, they're going to be acting up. But that's it for taking
This is a whole new tangent. I got like 20 seconds here, but like, you know what I don't like is the person who says, "Oh, Arkansas fans are the worst." They get LSU fans are the worst. Oh, the Tennessee. No, you just ran into the wrong one. Everybody's got terrible people. Everybody's got really nice people.
That's facts.
Where did you walk? Did you walk next to the drunk moron who was looking for a fight? Or did you not walk next to the tailgate of the well-to-do people who invited you in for a beer? Is what it is. That's it for us here on this Tuesday. See you at Court the Table tonight.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
We had an awesome time yesterday at Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. You can catch it on our social media channels. Had a little one-on-one match on the front nine at Pebble Beach for a spot in Swing Easy Golf Club's for their league, and it was really fun. Had Brady out, had Chris out. Chris edged him by, I think, 3 shots in the end. But it was a ton of fun to get out there and hit some golf shots and compete. If you want to get into the league over at Swing Easy, become a member, you can do that. If you just want to stop by, hit some golf shots. I played 8 holes at Cypress Point yesterday before everybody showed up. First 6 were pars, then we went double-double. So we didn't like that. But it's a great time, and it's a great place to work on your game independent of the weather conditions. The simulator is incredibly accurate. I find it to be incredibly helpful with your game. Chris yesterday was hitting the ball on the heel of the driver time and time again. I showed it to him on the slow-mo right there at the impact spot right above his head. He was like, oh, that really helps, and ended up straightening that thing out. So go see him on Segan at Perkins. It's Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great